that's a very simple,
Amen. I
we
love that.
simplified that because we,
It's
for
a
the
very
purpose of
simple way
meeting,
to put it. It's a
but,
very simple way to put
but
it.
it works.
So when you talked about appreciation, so imagine you purchased a property today for $100,000 or even $1 million,
Mhm.
right? And then over the years, it's going to keep increasing in value. I cannot purchase, well, let me say I can't. I can now, but there was a time where I would say, can't purchase the house that I grew up in. I grew up in a
Right.
very well-known, expensive area in Fairfax County, Virginia, right? At the time, the houses were probably $17,000, $18,000. When I was born, my parents would have paid that much for it. But that same house today is probably close to $900,000 to $1 million, right? If my parents had purchased that house for me when I was little and handed it over to me now, right? So appreciation is an amazing thing. So Rod mentioned you buy a property, it goes up in value. The tenant is paying down the mortgage. So you're gaining that difference in between, which is called your equity. And that can be literally millions of dollars. That is another nugget that we wanted to share with you today.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing about it, it's layered. Real estate has many layers to it in reference to what it does for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people, you know, there's people that love it. There's probably people that are a little apprehensive about it.
Mm-hmm.
For the span of time we've been in it, we've been through ups and downs. We've been through high interest rates and low interest rates. In fact, when I bought my first property, and I think you can say the same thing, I'm a military veteran, so I used VA. But when I purchased my first property, my interest was 13.5%. And I thought that was good.
I got you beat.
Yeah.
My first property was 17. Actually, that was my second.
Yeah.
It was 17%. In real estate, still, it still was purchased, absolutely. And it was still sold. It was still invested in, and people still made money, right? It's all relative. And I think when you mention apprehension, I think the apprehension and the fear comes from not knowing the asset, not understanding the business. And one of the things that we do, we help to take that fear away. We help to give you clarity. We help to give you that courage, that confidence, and that capability to step out in any market and invest in real estate.
Well, that's the interesting thing, see, because if you don't get too focused on just what the interest rate is,
yes,
and you use our formula, you use the calculator that we use and the information we provide that allows you to run the numbers. Okay, so let's say the interest rate was 15%. Okay, you still could buy a deal that still cash flows, even with an interest rate of 50%, 15%, 15%. So you run the deal. So instead of being concerned and only focusing on the interest rate,
right,
that's not how you determine if the deal is profitable.
Right.
If the deal could be profitable even with that interest rate, as long as you're producing that positive ROI on a monthly basis. And keep in mind, rates go up, rates go down. You can refinance, which we've done how many times?
Many.
You can certainly buy something, the rate goes down, you make even more money because you refi it when the rates go down.
Exactly. So if the numbers work while the rates are up, because it's like you said, it's all about the numbers. If you can get the number to work while the rates are up, imagine how much more they would work when you refinance at a lower interest rate. So that's powerful. Yeah. It's only one thing. We only touched on one thing. So we talked about financial freedom. Just that thought alone just takes away the anxiety.
God, it just makes you breathe. You get up and you feel really good in the morning. You just you're not under any kind of stress or strain or pressure. Even things as simple as, you remember back in those days when we did work W-2 jobs, one of the kids, we have 4 children, one of the kids gets sick. Now you're immediately shuffling. Okay, can you stay? No, I got a big meeting. Can you say no? Let's call the grandparents. You know, because you can't even really afford to stay at home and deal with what's really most important, which is family and taking care of things and just family responsibility. Because
your boss is going to call you up and say, when you going to
well, thinking you're taking too many days off because you're dealing with your family issues. So it's just great. It's great freedom. It's a great ability to be able to do what God has really just gifted you to do. A lot of people have gifts and calls, things that we believe strongly in this, that things that you know that you're called to do and you desire to do that thing, but you really can't do it because you're on this hamster wheel, and you got to keep going to work every day. You got to keep doing your job, because the last thing you can do is afford to lose your employment.
Right.
Okay.
That's right.
So we're talking about freeing people to really be able to do what they're called to do and what they enjoy doing, to live life to its fullest.
Well, I want to say this. It's doable. That's the other thing that's so exciting about this powerful tool. When you think about other investment vehicles, people talk about crypto, gold, silver, energy, oil, all of these other, in the stock market, of course. They talk about all these other ways to invest. Okay, certainly you can, but real estate is so attainable, and it's simple, and it's easy to understand, and any and everybody can do it. And I can't say that I know any and everybody understands crypto, or any and everybody understands the stock market, but any and everybody can understand the simplicity of real estate investing. So it's attainable, it's transferable, it's tangible,
right?
And it's sustainable. You can sustain it for years and years and years and years to come. So
here's the great thing about all the layers of things that happen with it. So you get this property, you got this passive income, and let's say you are a W-2 employee. Well, guess what you get? You get great tax benefits. There's tax advantages to being an investor. There's legal, IRS sanctioned, ordained, and acceptable practices that you can use as an investor, that allows you to benefit from write-offs because you are a real estate investor. And those tax advantages can help to reduce the liability that's currently on you as a W-2 employee. And for those of you that don't know, most of you probably already know, because you've seen all those additional dependents in your check, FICA,
all those kids,
unemployment, and all those other people that siphon off of your W-2 check every 2 weeks or every week, however you get paid. You look in there, you make $100,000 a year, but you really realize that you net and bring home $60,000 a year. By the time you're sliced with all these things that come out of your paycheck, and that's difficult. It's difficult to really build wealth when you're taxed so heavily and you don't have discretionary passive income or income that you can utilize for some of these things.
Well,
this does it.
Absolutely. And the other really powerful thing about being a real estate investor is you can get to the place where you pay zero in taxes. Zero in taxes. And when you look at all the other ways to earn income, employment, even self-employment, business and investor, that category of earning income as an investor allows you to get to a place where you have 0%, write-off. Zero in taxes. As an employee, you can pay up to 50% taxes. Even self-employed can be up to 50 or 60% in taxes.
Because look, that's the way our system is structured. Many countries, it's not just the US, many countries are structured very similarly as it relates to taxes, real estate taxes and property taxes and all those things. So it's not like you really get away from it in too many places in the world. But here in this country, this is a great country for the advantage of being able to do business, to start a business very easily. Okay, and by the way, your real estate investing journey, you immediately become a business owner. And one of the things that we teach, and we always make sure that everyone understands, is you create either limited liability corporation or company or a trust, but you create somewhere to actually put this property not in your personal name, but you create that, and you create that as a business. And that allows you to also benefit some there for other business benefits and tax write-offs. So great things, and these are just a couple
tax advantages.
So
that's what the wealthy do.
Absolutely, they do.
I think if you look at a wealthy person's portfolio, you will find real estate in that portfolio.
No doubt.
And it's for the reasons that we're mentioning.
Rockefeller, which most people know the Rockefeller family and who they are and the backstory of being the oil tycoons that they were, but 40% of his wealth, of his money, he held in real estate. He owned Rockefeller Center in Manhattan, one of the most expensive pieces of real estate probably in the country, if not in the world. The ice skating rink where they light the Christmas tree and all that stuff that's there. Beautiful place, we've been there. But just own these great properties and held this money in real estate. And
100%.
and for you're talking decades and decades, hundreds of
Well,
years.
that's why, yeah, it's transferable. Like I said, it's
Yeah.
transferable. You can pass it down to your children.